I'm not teaching, I'm publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in UK test part 567 while doing shoulder impingement training. And if you participate in the shoulder impingement training, it's at home risk. So shoulder impingement is when the scapulars are too much in front and, for example, the biceps tendon is impinged. So the training of the scapulars are stronger behind and are pulled more back. So back training basically. In the second part of the video. In the first part of the video, we are preparing and rehearsing our ability. So we have it when we want to do one video about films, television, radio, and theatre. In a way, we could list at one part all the movies we know of. When you're talking about there are many different television channels, and there is a wide variety of programming. For example, EastEnders and Coronation Street. When we could say 39 Steps, The Third Man, Brief Encounter. I was giving one. 39 Steps, Brief Encounter, The Third Man, The Bells of St. Julian's, Lawrence of Arabia, Woman and Love, Don't Look Now, Chariots of Fire, The Killing Fields, Four Weddings and a Funeral, and Touching the Void. You could name them then, but maybe not. And when you're talking about the TV channels, and we're just saying that there is a wide variety of channels running. There are, for example, some in Gaelic running in Scotland, or some in Welsh. In Wales, I said there's just one. Maybe I'll use the plural. And in Northern Ireland, there is Irish Gaelic TV. The BBC is the biggest one. I'm going to start with that. It would be good, but it wouldn't be home to say it then. And there are also radio stations, also of the BBC. And there are also some in Welsh and Gaelic and in Irish Gaelic. Probably it's not said in Irish Gaelic, but I'm pretty sure about it. It's not that I know, but it just makes sense if there's some in Irish Gaelic. If there's a television in Irish Gaelic, the radio station is much smaller. Okay, now let's go over it all again. What do we want to do? Theatre was a problem. We haven't looked for theatre. We want to start with it after we've talked about private eye. So we're making this entire part, beginning with the jesters at the medieval courts. Then we're talking about William Shakespeare, comic characters, and then a little bit about William Shakespeare. Then we're going on the 18th century political satire. Then 1840s, The Punch, and today the private eye. And there are theatres in many towns. For example, London's West End is known as the Theatreland. There is running The Mousetrap by Dame Agatha Christie. It is running there since 1952, which makes it the longest show which runs since its initial. And there was already in the 19th century the writing of Gilbert and Sullivan, who wrote comic operas, for example, HMS Piano 4, The Pirates of Penzance, or The Mikado. We're going to tell, it would be best to tell first theatres, then Gilbert and Sullivan, and then The Mousetrap in London's West End. Then you're going on with Morecambe and Wise, British Music Hall, comedians in the 1940s and 50s, and then we became television stars. Now we have to switch here. But we could do it that way. We're going to talk about theatre, Pirates of Penzance. When you're going to skip to the movies again. And then we're going to start to talk about 1896 movies started to be shot. And during the Second World War, there was, for example, In Which We Serve. We don't have to go completely chronologically, Mount Pex, but they're not completely changing from films to television to radio and theatre. There was In Which We Serve, for example, And many people of the theatres, of the variety theatres, which were the British music hall, for example, Morecambe and Wise, switched over to television, which became the main thing of entertainment, the main source of entertainment, main form of entertainment. And there were comedies like Passport to Pimlico, The Lady Killers, and the Carry On films. And then in the television, was it just film and television, and then we added theatre? Here, television. And then we're going to talk about the sitcoms, and then the shows. That was the big balls in the 60s, Spitting Images, 60s and 90s, and also Monty Python starting in 1969, and also stand-up comedy. Furthermore, in Britain that doesn't matter when, Harry Potter movies and James Bond movies, and for example, and science fiction, special effects done, and there are actors like Sir Lawrence Oliver, David Niven, Sir Rex Harrison, and Sir Lawrence Oliver, David Niven, Sir Rex Harrison, and Richard Burton were also Oscar winners, an important prize of the United States, which equivalent is the British BAFTA. So Anthony Hopkins, Dame Judi Dench, Colin Firth, Tilda Swinton, Kate Winslet. And these movies are not running just in the cinemas, but also in the television, of which there are multiple different channels in the United Kingdom. And they have a variety of programs. For example, these movies or other movies could run there potentially. British movies like 39 Steps or Brief Encounter or The Bells of St. Gideon's. I'm always talking at least 2 or 3 things. The Bells of 39 Steps, Brief Encounter, The Third Man. It doesn't really matter. I could just skip 1 or 2 and then go on in the color era. The 39 Steps, Brief Encounter, The Third Man, The Bells of St. Gideon's. First The Third Man, then The Bells of St. Gideon's. Lawrence of Arabia, Woman in Love. Don't Look Now. Chariots of Fire, The Culling Fields, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, or Touching a Void. And there are ones in Scottish, in a Gaelic, and an Irish Gaelic, and there are radio programs, and the biggest broadcaster in the world is the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. And what is it then? Biggest broadcaster in the world. And they have also television programs having different types of music, and there are different funds for each city, and with Whitby and not with a TV license. In the next video, we will just start to shoot it, and while we're talking, we will see it would have been better to do that at that place. We don't have time left to continue to learn. If you're here to just starting to shoot it, more or less we're pretty good prepared. You can go directly to the next video. We will do that. We will do now the shoulder impingement training. If you participate in the shoulder impingement training, that is the here. We're doing forward shoulder circuits. Back with the shoulders, up and front and down. And again back, up and front and down. What place and backwards do I name Baron and Right Weather and certain rise? Just from the structure, would it be good? Best before the television, before we're talking about television. Last, backwards. And now, long arms, hands from the fists, and go as far back with the shoulders as you can. Now try to go further back with the shoulders while you lift the shoulders up. Try to come higher up while you bring them in front. Further in front while you bring them down. Further down while you bring them back. Further back while you lift them up. Higher up and in front. Further in front and down. And now backwards. Higher up and up. And now higher up and back. Further back and down. Further in front. Further in front and up. Higher up and back. Further back and down. Next exercise. Legs are standing wide apart. We're going into the knees, ranging forward with a straight leg. Letting the arms hang and we're pinching the arms together. Even if I just list 3 or 4 things and it is at a good place, I'll be making fists and pinching the arms up and still pinching the scapulars together. Does it make sense to then suddenly stop and then, even if it is in a perfect, let the arms down, shouldered, fit forward position, to then list 3-4 works by William Shakespeare. Then we're coming again to the knees, we're repeating the exercise. Arms are hanging, we're doing 2 rounds of it, 2 times. And bench again, let's go, shoulders up. Now make fists and lift the arms and instead bench with scapulars together. Lift the arms up and the scapulars. Now this is intentionally not read down, but said with own words. Is it then a good idea to suddenly stop that presentation and then suddenly talk like an encyclopedia, 6-7 examples? Or just to go on, sentence after sentence, normally explained, not listing, sentence after sentence. Next exercise, into the knees, inch forward, make a round back, let the arms hang, make fists, turn the arms to the inside, lift the arms high up and bring the scapulars together, arms together. Straighten up, bring the shoulders down and together. No one will be able to remember what I listed there. So in a way, no, not list the actors. But I wanted to list the actors. In a way, these actors or movies in which they took part can run on these TV channels. After the arms in together, shoulders down together. But the works of William Shakespeare and with important notable movies of Britain, it's a bit lexicon-like, encyclopedia-like. Arms up and together, shoulders down and together. And not only that, it is like that. It seems to disrupt the whole presentation. Into the knees, hinge forward, the second round, round back, with the arms hang. The fists to the inside, arms high up and together. Bring the shoulders down together. Arms high up and together, shoulders down. Next exercise, just lift the arms up and again down. Just observe what those scapulars are doing. Again up and down. Again up and down. Now the arms to the outside and together. Again to the outside and together. Last time, just observe what the scapulars are doing. Scapulars to the outside and back together. Now we'll build with that. Long arms, hands on the fists, arms to the inside, shoulders down and together. Arms to the outside, shoulders are staying down and together. Arms to the inside, shoulders down and together. Arms to the outside, shoulders down and together. Something similar, arms at the outside, hands from the fists a bit in front, bring the arms in front, shoulders down and together. Change arms back, shoulders up and in front. And arms in front, shoulders down and together. Last time changing, arms back, shoulders up and in front. Shrug, lift the arms up and shrug the shoulders up and lift it all down. And again, arms up, shoulders up and let it all down. Again, arms up, shoulders up and let it all down. The pretzel curl, arms together, bring them down into the outside. Just observe what the scapulars are doing here again. And that is for last time. Just observe what the scapulars are doing. And now twist stretching. Bring one arm in front, pull it in. So the shoulder is back and down. Pull the arm in. Have flat fingers. Try to relax the arm and go a bit back with the shoulder. Then the other arm. Front, shoulder is back and down, pull the arm in, have flat fingers, stretch, relax the arm, and go back with the shoulder. Nice pose for shoulder and pinch training. I thank you very much, and until next time.